Bonjour à toutes et tous, vous écoutez First Print, votre podcast comics préféré pour une nouvelle émission du format SuperFriends. C'est dans cette émission que l'on va à la rencontre des personnes qui font vivre la pop culture et la culture comics par leur travail. Et aujourd'hui, un nouveau rendez-vous comics en compagnie de la dessinatrice Sara Pichelli qui est de passage en France à l'occasion du FCBD chez Album Comics. On a le plaisir de discuter avec la co-créatrice de Miles Morales, une dessinatrice qui continue de nous ravir chez Marvel notamment. Donc le générique va se lancer, puis on va se retrouver avec Sara en anglais. Merci à toutes et tous de nous écouter. So this was my introduction in French. Did you understand anything, Sarah?
Yes, I studied French. And
that's the
I
first.
usually do speak French, but when I started working for US, my French is gone.
It was gone. But what do you remember about French?
Quel dommage.
Yes, that's really great. So it's really
Sorry,
great.
guys, for that.
No, it's good. I think that most of the people who are listening to this podcast know English well,
Okay.
so it's all right. But thank you for your time. It's the first time here in our podcast, so a lot of people know your work and know you. But could you introduce yourself briefly?
Yeah.
For a start.
I am Sara Pichelli. Thank you for pronouncing my last name correctly.
It's my Italian roots, you know.
Yes, I can feel it. I work for Marvel since 2008. I am mostly known for co-creating Miles Morales, the Spider-Man. I'm still working for Marvel. I do many books for them. X-Men, Scarlet Witch recently, Guardians of the Galaxy, and many others. So,
yes, that's a great summary. But really, if we are going back to the start, at what point do you remember that you wanted to be a comic artist, and do you know why?
Very late in my life, because until I was 23, I worked in animation because I studied animation, traditional and 3D animation. I worked for an Italian studio as a character designer, storyboarder, and texture artist. I did many things. I had fun. I wanted to to do more, especially outside Italy, because I love the French animation and video games and stuff. But I got fired. And
okay.
Yeah.
So someone fired you.
Yes,
They dared fire you.
But they did a favor to me. I couldn't leave Italy for personal issues. So back then I was with my boyfriend, David Messina, who already worked for US market for Buffy, if I'm not wrong. No, Angel, for who knows the series. And I have other friends who worked for IDW Publishing and Marvel. Yeah, already. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm old.
It was not such a long time ago.
No?
Was
Okay.
it?
2008 is quite... okay. I want to think about it. And so they said, why don't you try? I said, oh, yeah. Well, I know nothing about comics because I wasn't into comics at all. I come from a very small town in Italy. We didn't have comic book shops. So I used to read Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Disney stuff for kids. So I said, okay, I know storyboards. I know storytelling. I can try. I can study. So I started working for them as an assistant of layouts for my ex-boyfriend and friends. And I said, I can do it. I started reading comics for the first time. I was like, oh, I love it. So it was 2008 when Chester Quest happened. It was the contest that Marvel made, and I won the contest. I won one book published, and from then I never stopped. So.
All right. But you mentioned that you were working in animation. So I guess you were attracted to drawings or to, or
Always.
Storytelling from the beginning?
I was very, very into drawing since I remember, of course. The storytelling came after when I was studying animation, because when you since I did traditional animation, sheets, pencil, it's a lot of storytelling. It starts from the body, so the storytelling of the body language, and then goes to the page or the
screen.
The
yeah,
screen.
Yeah.
So it was later when I was studying, but telling stories will always be a thing to me. So yeah, that's why doing comics, it was the perfect match, because I could have more control on the final result. When you work in animation, you are just a tiny cog, a huge mechanism. So you could say, but you were for Marvel. Of course, you have editors, writers, colorists, but way less than animation.
Yeah, sure. But that's really interesting, because I guess that I don't know, was it different to learn the language of comic books compared to the language of animation or the storyboards? I get there are similarities, but also differences.
It looks very similar, and I thought it was easier to me at first, but they are pretty different, especially because of the closure, the gap between the panels. That's the biggest difference than storyboarding. Storyboarding has no gap in space of time, because you have to draw camera in, camera out, or whatever, but it's real time. Closure can change the game. So you have to learn that tiny biggest thing, but it was fun for that reason.
And there maybe was a point at which you just told yourself, okay, that's what I really want to do. Like comics is a better art form for me. Is it something like that?
It was, yeah. I didn't want to do animation anymore. It was like I want to do that. It's fun. That's it. It was very easy.
Okay, so but when you won the contest, so can you tell us a little bit about what was that contest? Let's do a history lesson.
Sure. Once upon a time, I didn't have many pages back then, because I was trying to build my portfolio to send to publishers. I was talking to Italian publisher to start doing small things, but it was all in progress. My friends and my boyfriend told me about this contest, and I was like, guys, I have nothing that worth it to send them. I don't want to be, like ashamed of sending bad stuff. So I didn't send anything. But I remember, I don't remember if it was my boyfriend or my friend said, "Did you send stuff? Yesterday the time expired." No, do it now. So I did it, and I won it. After a week, I got an email from Cebulski himself, who told me, "Okay, you are among the winners." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Oh man, you got to kidding me."
So that was the real big deal. So how was it to when you got your first assignment?
Okay, I was frightened. I was scary. I was scared. Sorry. It was another language, something different. And
yeah, because at that time, maybe, I don't know, but maybe you didn't speak English very well.
Not so much.
Or...
I spoke French much better than English. So, and I have to work on actual real scripts, and professional scripts are not the same and are not easy. I remember it wasn't my first job, but Brian Bendy's script had slang. You know, so you had to know American slang sometime. And I was like, oh, thank God there's Urban Dictionary on Google. So I was kind of traumatized in the first month, too much at the same time, but slowly I did mistakes. I learned stuff. I learned how to communicate with the editors. And American people are very different than European and very different from Italian people. So you had to learn their language, their way to say no, to say yes, because they don't say no. They say yes, but. so you learn. I've learned a lot in the years. But it was fun.
I really want also to learn about your work relationship with Brian Bendis, because you just didn't do Ultimate Spider-Man with him. You worked also with him later on different projects. And you told us that maybe at first the scripts were difficult to approach. So did you talk with him also about how he wrote his scripts for you? How was it to work with him at that time?
I didn't want to be bad with Brian's scripts, because I loved working on them. His descriptions of characters and setting, the way he tells you the story in the scripts, it's perfect, because at least I could picture immediately in my mind what he was writing on paper. So I was reading and immediately, okay, I can draw this. I want to do this. And so maybe it was a lucky match. You know, it's not always like that. And so the only thing very, very hard to deal with was so many dialogues, so many balloons you had to keep in mind when you draw a panel. But that's the only thing I can.
Yeah, because you have to think of the placements of the characters and the objects, because you have to let place for the
especially
space.
when you have many characters. I remember when I was doing Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, I remember the schedule, the work schedule was so bad, so tight. So I was in a rush. Was doing a lot of stuff in few time, and so many characters, so many dialogues. And I remember this scene where I had all the Guardians of the Galaxy and other people talking and a hologram in the middle. And I was like, oh my God, I studied all the panel, the spots. I remember when I saw the printed version, the balloons were on the hologram in the center of the page. It was like, I failed. It was too difficult to me. So well, it's not always like that. But it's, I don't remember your question. Yeah,
no. But it was how was it like to work with Brian?
But it was fun. I love his dialogues, so that's why I forgive him for all those balloons,
for putting too much dialogue. And do you remember also the day when you were asked to create Miles Morales? So was it a decision from? Was it we know that Brian already told in an interview that he wanted also to acknowledge a character who could be a character for his daughters. But tell me your side of the story.
Yeah, I was contacted by the same team I was working with for Ultimate Spider-Man, plus biggest like Joe Quesada, and I don't remember who else was there, and Brian, of course. They told me they had this idea, and if I was interested in working on that, it was like, why not? Let's kill Peter Parker. Why not? He sounds like a terrible job, but I will do it. So to me, honestly, I was younger, and we couldn't, we didn't have a hint of what Miles was going to be. So it was like, okay, it's a new story, it's a new character. I was working like I did in animation. To me, it was something I did in the past. So I don't care if he's Spider-Man. I wasn't a big fan of Spider-Man. You know, if you are a big fan of Spider-Man, you know, you have story on your back. But I was clean.
You were detached from the character.
I wasn't emotional at all. And so it was fun. I was creating a new character, new supporting cast, new setting. And Brian was so cool. He kept sending me documentary or any suggestions, images, songs, or I don't remember, but it was so fun. And we worked 4 to 6 months if I will remember, 4 for the human, 1 for the costume and the superhero stuff. So
because there was this choice also of not having the same costume as Peter Parker and going for black and red. So that was from you also.
Yes, and everyone was okay with that. So I think it was a common idea. It's like, okay, we don't want blue, go for me. But for all the issues, you know, the first book, the second, etc. Brian kept asking me to draw Miles far away from Peter. Body language, fighting technique, everything. That was very hard. Especially for Spider-Man when they meet.
Yeah.
So that was.
But maybe that was just a test of all your previous work. So now you've done it like it's very different in terms of costume, body language. So now drew them both, and so we can spot the differences.
Now we can check. But that was my favorite run at all the time. I had so much fun. The story was very, very fun when they meet.
And how do you feel about just him having so many more adventures with other creative teams, because you're still his mother in some way? So how do you check sometimes maybe on the latest Miles Morales book? Or
yes, I did. Not recently, but the first years, and I was working on other books. It was like, oh, I miss that guy.
Was it hard to let him go?
A bit, you know? But it was interesting seeing him drawing in different styles. Sometimes it was good, sometimes it was not, but it was fun until I see him on big screen.
Yeah.
That was like, oh my god. Okay, this is huge, and I was very proud. I was proud even when someone else was drawing Miles in the books. So,
did you work a bit on the first movie?
I did a picture for them. They asked me to do one image they used in the movie.
On the cover, maybe one of the covers that appears.
Me and Robbie Rodriguez for Spider-Gwen. And they contacted me. Sorry, they were still in progress. So they sent me. I remember that they sent me a sequence, and half was final, half was rough. But you could. I remember. I want to be honest. When Marvel told me they were going to make an animated movie with Miles, I was like, meh. As much as I love animation, I was like, I want to see in real life. Yes, I will. And because lately I didn't watch anything so good in animation, you know. So I was like, But when I saw this sequence, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And when I watched. Like I like you, everyone. I watched the movie. It was like, oh my god, much better than a real life movie. So, but that's it. I was involved in any other way.
But it was still cool that you were doing like they are acknowledging also your
they did.
A very important contribution to this character.
Oh yeah,
because
they were very, very nice to me. They thanked me personally, privately on the stage when they got the Oscar. I was like, oh my god, yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's not, it's fair, but it's not common. So I felt good.
But you don't have to say how much, but did they pay you also for that or not? Do you have like
I had for the image I was paid, not for the
royalties. Not for the that's okay.
I don't have the royalties. Otherwise, I would be rich.
Yeah, give the royalties back. That's still a shame because that's an ongoing debate with all the comics creators that are not paid for a character that are making millions and millions of dollars.
You have royalties on the copies you have pages and copies you sell, but it's not the same, of having royalties on the design.
Yeah, sure. But this also reminds me, because I don't know if you're on the internet a lot or not right now, because Dustin Nguyen did a very long message about also not getting royalties for Marvel books published in other countries. Like here in France.
Yes, in France,
and
Europe.
It's also the case for you. So
it's the same for us. It's the same. I guess it's the same contract for every artist in Marvel. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad because DC.
Yeah, but and so this brings me to my other question, because you're still working for Marvel.
Well,
today you've done several Scarlet Witch with Steve Orlando.
I'm still in exclusive because I signed contract, so many more years.
How long are you going to be exclusive to Marvel?
I don't know how it works for everyone. To me, especially the last years, it's not about time; it's about issues.
It's a number of issues.
So
so you have to do many more issues,
of course,
quickly.
And that's the funny part, because since COVID. My work is much less, especially then I had a baby, so more years to go for the exclusive. The less you work, the more you have to wait. So it's the good side and bad side of being exclusive with any publisher, of course. So I'm not complaining.
No, but because you're still a big artist, and I guess they consider you for what you've already done also. But I was wondering, how do you choose your projects? Are you picking up
mostly they ask, would you like to do this, or what do you feel like drawing? I remember before Scarlet Witch, every time that an editor or CB asked me, what do you want to draw? Female characters, please. Finally.
Because I didn't give you
never. Maybe supporting cast, but never a main one.
Okay, that's even strange, because we have other like Italian. I'm thinking of Laura Braga, for example, or female artists that are just drawing female characters.
But they wanted me on
Spider-Man.
Spidey. But I was okay, of course. Yeah. But at one person, I want just one, please, please.
Because I remember in 2019 there was a Spider-Man book with J.J. Abrams and his son. So how?
Oh my God, there was something. He was with J.J. Abrams and his son Henry, and Henry was the nerd one, of course. Yeah. But they were so nice. Of course, J.J. was very, very busy, so the communication was
hard at most.
Very, very hard, and the script was more like a movie script than the comic book, but it was fun. It was something different. They choose me because I don't know why, but because I'm impatient, maybe. I don't know. But
let's be honest also, because you're a bookseller. I mean, when your name is on the cover,
and I remember it was like I had fun drawing that book until one point. After that point, it was like I wanna finish. But it was, COVID was there. It was very hard time, and so and if you're a writer, if you write comics, it's a job. If you
Yeah, but do you think that maybe because you had worked in an animation, maybe that's why also they put you with a because they knew that you would be more fit to read a script that's not a comic book script.
I didn't think about it, but maybe I remember when I read in the script, he was Henry and JJ were talking about beats. Beats is for the movies.
Yeah,
it was like.
There was no panel.
Can you? Yeah. I was like, it's like, can you give more comedy beats to this scene?
Oh yeah, okay, all right.
It's the movie, but yes, I can do it. But trust me, you have to trust me because, wow, but it was okay. It was an experience.
You've been working for like more than 2001 was Miles Morales, so we're 14, so almost 15 years in the more than 15 years in the comics industry and at Marvel. Aren't you tired? Mostly of the deadlines. Also, I know it's a lot of work to do the monthly books, and so that's why you're not every month
absolutely
on a book.
Absolutely, yes. I'm tired. I worked a lot, and I very often gave up on personal life to meet deadlines in these 15 years. And lately I had to slow down. Of course, if you slow down, you are not on big books, of course. But I'm okay. I don't care. I just want to draw, have fun. I want to explore my art. And when I will be ready, if I ever will be ready again for dramatic deadlines, maybe you will find me on biggest book.
But I'm more interested in if you want to because so I understand now that you're still in an exclusive contract with Marvel, because I was wondering why aren't you doing something else? And I'm not thinking DC, I'm thinking creator owned.
I could do it.
Yeah, because
I'm allowed to do it.
Exclusive is just you're not doing anything at DC, but you could do a creator owned books. Okay.
When you sign a contract with the majors, of course they say no, but you have many publishers you cannot work with. But for instance, I can work for Image or other publisher which make creator owned. So I have to be more organized because you need time. You have to stop and do that. And so I have a lot of my plate right now. So but I would, but I'd love to do something for European, graphic novel, something far from superheroes.
Yeah, because there's also Mirka Andolfo, who is doing a lot of stuff with Glénat, for example, with the French publishers. So, I would totally see you do the same
I'd love
stuff.
to do something for the French market. I love French market. So yes, one day.
All right. Well, we'll speak about that if you do it. But
okay,
we'll be also following your work at Marvel for the next few issues that you still have to do. Thank you so much for your time.